Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
So weird.
I am so very normal, actually.
No, you're real weird.
Don't listen to her, guys. You guys know me. Am I ever weird? How goes it?
It's going good. It's going good. Tell me something that's happened good to you lately.
Oh, okay. So I had a moment. Well, not even a moment. So I went on a campaign shoot, a Buff Bunny campaign shoot. So they flew me out. I was put up in this amazing hotel. When I got there were gifts. This was at the front desk. They had gifts for me at the front desk. Went to this like top floor room. It was just amazing. It was a pretty packed few days. I went over to their headquarters as well as Alphaland and met the CEO, Heidi Summers. So it's one of those, you get dolled up and they're going to shoot you in several different outfits. You have to do videos. It was all around a great experience. But I think what struck me was Heidi. When I think when I was there, there was one of the girls, Gabby, and she said to me, if there's one thing that you'll get when you leave here is that you leave inspired. So I was kind of like, what does that really mean? Inspired to do what? But when I got there, it was this room filled with mainly women, which number one was just amazing. And then this tiny little woman who had just an amazing spirit, but obviously this is her company. This is a multi-million-dollar company. She had, they had to build this set. They had been up since like 5 a.m. trying to build this set. One thing that struck me about her is she got involved in every single thing. It didn't matter whether it was building the set design, bringing people food. One of the influencers who was there had her baby with her. Whether it was carrying the baby when it was crying, shushing the baby while mom worked. And I just thought, wow, she is involved in everything. There's nothing that's above her. And what struck me is how the people who work with her, the ladies, even the gents, were just anything she said, they listened. You could tell they had so much respect for her, but vice versa. She made them feel valued. They understood, she understands what it takes to build such a company, the level of work, results that are expected. And it had me thinking, now that in my own business, things are starting to grow. And I'm starting to hire other people to help on the team I think there's a difference in people who start companies. Now, I could be wrong, and I hope you chime in. I found that there are people who talk about starting a business and they expect that a business is going to be 2 weeks and it's successful and everything is going to be great. They're going to hire, Kevin to do this and Ashley to do that. And, and that's just going to be it. But you don't actually know what it takes, or you don't actually know what that person is doing. You haven't worked from the ground up. You don't know about, let's say, for example, for me, in my case, editing a video. You don't know any of that. And you just hire people. So you don't actually know if you're getting your money's worth or not.
Sure.
Someone could quote a price, but unless you've been there or you're willing to be involved in every single aspect, you won't know. So I thought,
and I think like when you first start out in any kind of business, like, for the most part, people start out with a lot of time and no money or very little money.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot of time, you just do everything yourself because you don't have the money to pay anybody else.
I
But
don't
you
think it's
have the
always when you have a lot of time. I think when you
well,
don't have any resources.
I think about like when I was starting out in real estate and I wasn't making that much money and I couldn't afford to go and buy leads. And so like one of the big things, we actually had our team meeting this morning and we were talking about our websites and how they're so powerful and you can run all these different ads. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is like the new Craigslist, because like back when I got started, you could run these ads on Craigslist and make clickable links. So you
Yeah.
would run these ads like 3 bedroom, 2 baths near LSU, and you put a clickable link near, and it would go to your website. And then
Yeah.
you'd capture their information,
Hmm.
and then you try to convert them to buy a house. And it was all free.
Yeah.
But what when agents started finding out about it, they were like, "Oh, this is like free." So then everybody started doing it. So it became like having to post like 20 of these ads per day
Oh my
to
gosh.
stay on page
Just one.
one of the Craigslist. Otherwise, people weren't clicking on you. And so it's like, and then Craigslist ended up where you can't have clickable links and it kind of all died away. But, in the beginning, I had the time to do
Hmm.
20 ads a day
Right.
because I didn't have the money to pay and get the lead sent to me. I had to generate that lead.
Do
And
you think
so,
that's having the time though, or having to do it in necessity over having the time? You found the time.
yeah, I mean, you're right. Like I found the time, but um I definitely didn't have the money.
Right.
So there was no hiring someone to do that. But also like I feel like it all kind of snowballs on itself, because when you start into something and you wear all the hats,
Hmm.
like you said, how to do everything.
Yeah.
It helps you be prepared as you grow for knowing what to do next.
Yeah.
And like when it's kind of like when they say little kids, little problems,
Hmm.
big kids, big
Big
problems,
problems.
right?
Yeah.
So when they're little, you kind of know, like you get to know the personalities, what works, what
Mhm.
doesn't, what motivates them, how to punish them, how to talk to them, or how they're going to break down if you scream
Sure.
at them or
Yeah.
whatever. Like if you didn't have that time when they were little,
Hmm.
and you just got them when they were 18,
Then you
then
have
you
no
have
idea.
no idea
Hmm.
what the trigger points are and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's the same
Oh,
with
that's a good point.
business. Like you've got to like know, like you said, editing a video.
Hmm.
I know nothing about editing videos, but if you don't know that a certain thing takes an
Sure.
hour of time, and you in your mind think this should take 5 minutes,
Yeah.
there's a disconnect there.
Right.
And you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
But everything makes a little bit more sense when you've been in the trenches
And you've done
and you
it.
have the skills and you've done it. Because
Yes.
then when somebody gives you a quote and it comes in higher than you thought, well, you know why,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you know what's behind it.
Right.
It's like when we were building our My Work Alley website,
Hmm.
or my We Have a Guy website.
Right.
We were working with a web developer. And I'm like, I want to do this, this, and this. And like, I was like, I just told him, I said, look, I don't know if I'm asking you to do something like super
Super.
hard or
Yeah.
super easy. So you're going to have to tell me, Jen, that's like a tall order to fill, or
Yeah.
that's super easy. Like, because it's all the same to me. If you can
Right.
do one thing, you can do it all. But I know there's different levels of complexity in
Right.
what they're doing. So, what we're talking about today, I think, is just
Built.
building a business
Mm-hmm.
and like, I guess, offering some encouragement, because you've built your business and
Hmm.
I've built a couple businesses. And um people, like you said, they get in, they see people on Instagram or
Hmm.
TikTok and they think overnight success,
Yes.
and it just comes quick and easy. And like we talk about business
Yeah.
all the time, and that's one of my favorite things. So like when I show a new client or they're like, oh yeah, I'm a entrepreneur or a business owner, I want
Hmm.
to hear all about it.
Yeah.
I just want to know everything about it, because we have
What it took.
yeah, it's inspiring to
Mm-hmm.
see other people be
That's full.
successful
Yeah.
and to learn from them,
Right.
really. But going into a business, what do you think should be the expectation that people have to be successful? Like, how long do you think they have to in their mind say, I'm going to give
Yeah.
it this amount of time, and if it doesn't work
I
by then, like, it's probably not going to work.
Okay. I think there are a few points I would like to mention on that. One, if you're going to start a business, you have to be prepared to work, not just do some work like you go to a 9 to 5 where you may spend maybe 4 hours of that 9 to 5 actually working and the rest goofing off. You're going to be working a lot. I'm sure you guys have heard this that, entrepreneur life is not 9 to 5, it's every hour in the day because depending on the type of business that you're starting, your marketing, your shipping and receiving, your customer service, you are everything. So one, you have to be prepared to work. How successful your business is going to depend on how much you're prepared to work, how obsessed you are with whatever it is that you want to do. Any successful entrepreneur that I've ever heard, they'll tell you that they were obsessed at some point with their business, their product. You have to live and breathe it now. Healthy lifestyles now as well. But this has to be top of your list. How long it will take? I think there's a reason why when it comes to tax breaks, you get up to 2 years to basically be in a loss, right? Something like, oh, there's that sort of rules that you can claim losses for up to 2 years because there's a difference in being successful and just seeing overnight profits versus not even overnight profits, but making money overnight versus actual profits where you start with $100 and invest it and you manage to sell your products at $10 a piece. Are you taking that money and putting it back in the business? This is before you pay yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be prepared to do that. I would say for me, when I started this, I would say almost a year and a half before I saw any money. It was me investing in everything, whatever equipment that it is, whatever it is that whether you're investing in courses to get better at editing, to get better at this, so that when you do hire out later on, when your business can afford to, quality versus shit. When
Yeah.
someone's charging you a ton of money, but giving you poo, right? Um, I think, and then there's now this, obviously, social media has made a lot of people successful, and people are immediately like, I want to quit my job. I want to do this. But okay, you're quitting a job that may have great benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that healthcare, especially in America, is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're quitting a job that pays your mortgage, your rent, whatever utilities that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's guaranteed income. You're going over here where it's not always guaranteed. Do you have a plan before you decide to up and leave your 9 to 5? Can you reproduce every month whatever it is you hope you're producing?
Yeah.
Do you have money that's there for contingencies? Because what happens if you get scammed out of your product? If you are buying a product, what do you do? You
Yeah.
know?
There's a lot to it.
So, I mean, for me, I would say minimum 1 year, two, to really be making something good.
I think,
What do you think?
in my business, like the workflow shop, for instance, I think we're into year 3 right now. And, we're kind of in a weird, I call it the messy middle,
Mm-hmm.
in business. And I think there's a book called The Messy
The middle.
Middle. I think I don't know who wrote it or anything like that, but just a tip that I would give people, and I've seen this in real estate and I've seen it in small businesses as well, is that, like, when you're doing everything yourself and
Mm-hmm.
you're super small and lean, it's easier to be really profitable.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it all yourself, but I mean, you're working all the time. There's really no balance there.
Yeah.
Um, and then when you grow and you're like a huge business, it's easy or to be profitable because you're bigger and you have this big team of people to help you, and that's when you start seeing really big numbers. It's that like 2 to 7 people in your company, I think, is like that messy middle that I call it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, you need the leverage to grow. Um, but the profits that you're making, you have to put back in your business
Yeah.
to grow more. And so you feel like there is no profit.
Mm-hmm.
You're just taking
You get
everything you're making and
and putting it back
reinvesting
in.
it into your business. And it's that messy middle. And I think that's where a lot of businesses fail, because it's like over and over and over, the conversation that I have with small business owners, that's the question I love to ask them,
Yeah.
is what is your biggest challenge
Mm-hmm.
in your business? And 100% of the time, it's people.
Yeah.
It's finding people to work
Ooh.
and being able to keep good people and people that are good at their job.
Yeah.
It's consistency of people in
Mm-hmm.
their business. And so,
And
you
I think
know,
the one thing that I think people should also realize is that when it's your business, your product, whoever you hire sometimes isn't always going to value it as much as you do. So they may not always put in
100%.
that effort to give you a quality product, because remember that 9 to 5 you left. They are coming to you as that 9 to 5 and just doing
Yeah.
what they can.
Yeah, I mean, I've asked you questions about that in terms of our podcast, like,
Mhm.
you know, why some posts work better than others, and
Mhm.
like, we've had different people help us with the podcast, and like, there's no level of care
Mhm.
that anybody's going to put in more than me and you,
Yeah.
right? Because we care, we want it to be successful, we
Mhm.
want to impact others. um
And I think though, I mean, one thing I realized, especially when I started, is you can't expect everyone to believe in you and want to invest in you the same way, because you're just at the beginning. When you think about the first prototype computer, first, phone,
it-
trying to say to somebody, hey, buy this because it's going to be great. They may be your family and friends or your close friends, but they've seen you through those struggle stages. They've seen you try and do this, and this time it didn't work. And every time you're saying, oh, it's
right.
coming, right? So you shouldn't get disheartened when you don't see the support in your closest family and friends that you thought you would. It may be those strangers who are the first ones to support you.
It will be the strangers.
Yes.
And I have like that. I have a good story about you in
Mhm.
that, is that you bought your house, and then a couple months later you started your Insecure Fitness channel,
Mhm.
and everybody's like, Jen, you need to get on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't know anything about Instagram.
And I was
And
telling you that because
and
I looked
you
on
were, yeah, you
Instagram.
were looking at Instagram, you're like, you need to get on it. And
Mhm.
so we met at
Uh,
Starbucks
Yep.
off of Perkins Row, or
Mhm.
near Perkins Row. And you were like, I can run your
Mhm.
Instagram. And it was like $300 a month or something like that, something stupid cheap.
But
And
at the time, it seemed expensive.
at the time it seemed expensive. And so I went home and I started thinking about it, and I was like looking at your page, and you had like 300 followers or something like that. And I was like, why am I going to pay this girl
Yeah.
like $300 a month to, like, she doesn't even hardly have any followers. And then
Yeah.
like 6 months later, I'm writing you a handwritten note, like, congratulations on 10,000 followers. And I'm like, dang, I should have hired her when she was like just getting started. But that's a true story.
Mhm.
Like, but I did listen to a reel that of Mark Cuban,
Mhm.
and going back to what you were talking about, is like, you can make a ton of bad decisions. You can pick the wrong wife, you can
Mhm.
pick the wrong job, you can pick the wrong thing. He's like, but the good thing is you only have to be right once.
Ooh.
And so that kind of stuck with me, is like, you're going to have like business ideas, you're going to do things that you thought were a great idea at first, and maybe it just didn't work out, or it wasn't the right time, or not the right with the right people. But you have to like keep pushing forward to do that, because all you need is the right idea one time.
And that's was it on Instagram. All you need is that one video that goes
Yeah,
viral.
like the one that you just had. Tell everybody about your viral video.
Wait, which one? I've had a couple.
The 1.3 million views.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, this was actually TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So on TikTok, I was just like, okay. The thing in social media, sometimes you can put thousands of hours into one particular post and one particular video and only get 200 views. But this was one of those where it was just it was the raw footage of the video, and I was working out, of course, but I was just struggling. I was struggling so hard, and it was just like a lot of that screaming. And my friend, my trainer, Z, he was just encouraging me, pushing me, like, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's all you hear throughout the video. Like, I look like I want to cry. But what was interesting is that's what people wanted, because I guess on social media, you often see the made up version of things. You see the edited video, you see the music, and everything just looks super easy. But I guess in that I appreciated people saw the work.
Yeah.
They saw the work.
Oh, I see the work in your videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's some work. Which is what you all need to grow businesses, friends.
Yeah, they say I quit my 40-hour-a-week job to work 24/7. That's what it is.
If that's not the truth. So we hope you guys got something out of this.
Yeah. Just be consistent. Be willing to grind it out and work, and really be willing to, at least do it for a year or two with no real profit from it. Be willing to give that time. Like, if you're not really willing to give it that amount of time, you probably shouldn't even start it.
Yeah. I mean, we would love to know, what kind of business are you guys doing out there? What businesses do you have, or you're thinking of starting? What other business related questions do you have that maybe we could help sort of guide you along and give a couple of pointers and tips? Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram, send us a DM, comment on the post. And
peace.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.